Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shauna from Created and Made, and today I'm going to show you how you can use old clothes and other fabrics to create beautiful and unique patterns on the gel plate. Fun stuff ahead. Stay tuned. Okay, let's just jump right in here. This is the very first fabric I'm going to show you. This is an old sweater, like a duster style sweater that, as you can see, has a huge hole in it. It makes me very sad because I really like this pattern, but it really wasn't. It was very inexpensive, and it wasn't something that I could get repaired, but I'm going to give it a second life by using it in this print. Now, as you can see, I got out my Play-Doh, and I'll drop a link to my Play-Doh gel printing video up top, but I got out my Play-Doh so I can take a really detailed replica of the pattern in the sweater. As you can see, you really get a lot of the texture and the pattern in there. So I use that technique because I actually tried it just pressing the sweater into wet paint on the plate, a different part that I cut off, and it was just really muddled. It wasn't a clear replica like this is. Like, this is basically a reproduction, and what I'd taken before wasn't very clear. It was really muddled. It was hard to get crisp lines, but using that Play-Doh technique, you really can do that. So if you guys haven't tried it, you should. It's really fun, and you can get some great results out of it, as you can see right here. So all throughout this video, I'm going to be using some neon paints, either Liquitex or Dina Wakley, and I will drop a link to all the paints that I used in the description. Now, this next one I'm going to do is an old fabric rug that I actually got from the Dollar Tree, and I used to have it sitting right inside the deck door at our house in Washington, but it's kind of small, so I've retired it, and it's only being used for gel printing now. So as you can see, look how detailed this particular rug prints. I really like the way that it came out. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little rainbow here with my Dina Wakley neons. I actually just got my Dina Wakley neon glass sprays in the mail today, so I'm excited to try those. But I'm rolling this out. I'm using a double-handled brayer that is in the description if you're interested. I really like those brayers for rolling paint out on a bigger plate like this. And this is my 8x10 gel press plate. And as you can see, this print came out really well. I love the neon rainbow. I think it makes it really stand out. So I'm gonna put this out there, just a note that unless it's something like this, trim remnants or something such as excess fabric that I have, all of the clothing stuff is clothing that couldn't be donated. So it's not like I'm depriving anyone at the Goodwill from a nice piece of clothing. No, it really couldn't be donated because most of the time they have holes in them. Like you saw the white sweater I had earlier, it had a big old hole in it. I'm going to show you some other clothing pieces in a bit, and they all have holes that really couldn't be repaired in any feasible way. So just want to put that out there. I'm not wasting perfectly good clothes doing this stuff, but this clothing would have ended up in the trash and then in a landfill. So I am giving it a second life, I think, using it on my gel plate. As you can see here, I'm using some trim remnants, and I pressed it into my Play-Doh. Now, these remnants I actually were left over from a different project, and they really wouldn't print well on their own. And so I think this is another situation where the Play-Doh really does make it possible to pull a print, whereas without it you could get something, but it really wouldn't be anything too special or impressive. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this with some Liquitex neon paint here, and let you guys check that out. This next print, I moved that little plate over to bring in another plate because I had put way too much paint on that plate, and I knew I could probably do a whole other print with how much paint I put on there. This is like a mesh ribbon material that I think is used in basket making. I'm not sure. I got it from Hobby Lobby, but it's kind of large and it comes on a roll, and it left a really great impression, as you could see there. And I ended up with two different prints, a small one and a large one, because of that too much paint issue. So you can see how it's like, it really is more so about the texture with this particular piece of fabric, and a lot of other fabrics would just be texture for you, but you could totally use them on the plate to make yourself a background, like burlap or canvas, etc. It's not always about the pattern that you can get, but you can also get some great texture on your plate. And I mean, this mesh laundry bag is kind of the best of both worlds. It has a pattern, obviously a polka dot pattern, but it really does give great texture for the background of any print. And as you can see, the mesh pattern transferred pretty well. I've done better. It's not my best work, but the print turned out okay. Anyway, I really liked the mixture of this pink and yellow neon paint. I love the color it made in the middle, that sort of corally orangey color. I really like that color. And so next I'm going to go in. See, this is a fabric that it's not really fabric. I think it's a yarn. You know, I'm not really quite sure what this is, and I'm not really sure where it came from either. I had it in my stash and I opened it up, and it had a cool mesh pattern on the inside, and I thought it might transfer well onto the gel plate, and as you will soon see, I was correct. You could also do this one with the Play-Doh. I just didn't want to fuss around with it. I wanted to see how well it would do just mashing it into the plate. When you have a fabric that has bigger holes like this one, it might do okay just smashing it into the paint, because you can usually get the paint removed out of those holes, which leaves a better impression. If you have smaller holes, it's hard to get the paint out of that, and so the impression ends up muddled. But I think this one looks cool. It looks like cells or something. I like it. It looks like something under a microscope. Oh, the old cozy sweater. This was like one of my favorite sweaters, I'm not gonna lie. You can't see it here, but it has unraveled in ways that make it no longer usable in its original form. And so I've pressed my Play-Doh onto it, and I have taken a nice impression of the sweater texture, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull a print off of it. These sort of knit materials, you'll see most of the clothing I use were like sort of a knit material. Once they start unraveling, it's really hard to wind that back up and put it back the way that it was. Okay, the final one I'm showing here is an old pair of blue jeans. Now these have holes in the legs, there's holes at the ankle, there's holes all over these, so I just thought it would be a better idea to go ahead and cut it up. Now, other than using it on a plate, there's a lot of denim here, and it could be used in other projects as well, and I have saved mine for future uses. Now, as you can see, the denim really does transfer really well on the plate, and I am actually doing a dual color scheme here. I'm using my tiny brayer, and then I have an even tinier brayer I'm going to pull out, as you can see right there, just to get that blue exactly where I want it to be. And now I'm going to go ahead and pull this with some titanium white. And this was actually my second attempt at this print. I was so sad when the first one ripped the paper as I was pulling the print. So I ended up doing it over again. Don't you hate that when your print's like, you're so excited, it's like, this is gonna look cool, and then it just doesn't, or it rips, or it doesn't pull, or if there's a big blotch. That one looks really great. I like how that came out. So here is the recap. Now, some of these prints you did not see me do, like that one, but you did see me do most of them. I just wanted to give you guys a chance to check it all out here at the end. I like how these turned out. I think they're bold. I think they I really like being able to use non-traditional art supplies in this way. So I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please go ahead and leave that like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I hope to see you guys next time, and in the meantime, keep creating and making. Bye bye. Actually, before you go, check out this next video. I think you might enjoy it.